Are you looking for something to watch? I've got something for you. Sirens, baby. It's on Netflix and it's a limited series, so there's only 5 episodes. It's a quick binge. If you want to sit there and watch it in one night, it's doable. It's also, it just surprised me at the end. So let's take it from the top. If you do not want any spoiler alerts, save this video and come back to see if you are vibing with the series just as well as the rest of us, because I'm talking to the ones who have seen it. I would like to start off by saying that the writers did a great job of incorporating each definition of siren in this entire series. You have the beginning where Devin, the big sister of Simone, is texting siren, 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 as if she's letting out a loud siren alarm to get her sister's attention, who has basically disappeared on her. She doesn't tell her what she's doing with her life anymore. Like, Simone started her own new adventure and she's turning over a new leaf. Like, she wants nothing to do with her past. But Big Sis is extremely toxic and wanting to keep her enmeshed in their family mess with their dad. And then we have the Greek mythology definition of the siren, with women that are, or winged creatures that have this singing that lured sailors in, and those were like more of a myth. But they discussed that with one of the main characters, Kiki, Michaela. And we have a woman who is considered to be alluring or fascinating, but also dangerous in some ways. And we see that in a lot of Kiki, the main character. But then towards the end of the season, we get that switch with Miss Simone. I was just taken by surprise, but we'll get to that. Here we have hot mess sis Devin, who decides to take this big edible arrangement across a boat and walking it for miles just to shove it in her sister's face, because she's pissed off that her sister sent this edible arrangement to her and her dad, when she reached out to let her know that their dad was diagnosed with dementia. But we learn that their father abused Simone, the younger sister, who has started a whole new life. She wants nothing to do with memory of that past, because her father was an alcoholic. In Simone's opinion, he's the reason why their mother unalived herself, but also was in the process of unaliving Simone when she was a very young girl. And then Big Sis was away at college and the father was not feeding her. She got really thin. Anyway, so she had to go into the foster care system. And then she gives her sister a clear view of what happened to her when she was in the foster care system, which wasn't pretty. So as a viewer, you feel empathetic and understanding to Simone's character as to why she just wants a whole new life for herself, and she deserves that. I don't blame her for not wanting to talk about her past. Like, a lot of the things I'm following it, like, okay, I get it. I see where she's coming from. And sis was getting on my nerves because she kept wanting her to be present and help her out with their dad, who's suffering from dementia now. But those were all his choices. And I see why Simone is just like, I don't care, F him, right? So Devin, big sis, she has mental health issues. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I could see those play out in so many ways from her character. Like, she's a nymphomaniac. and she's messing with a married man, someone she was friends with from high school, a part of her past that she just can't let go of. Um, then she's guilt tripping her sister, wanting her to be a part of their dad's process in dementia, and she's like taking a lot of the weight on it herself because nobody asked her to do it. And then Simone makes that clear when she approaches her and finds her, and she's like telling her big sis like, you chose to stay. You could leave. I chose to leave. So what's stopping you? Basically. And then she's got this cute guy that's interested in her, the guy Morgan. But what is up with that? She just keeps choosing to have this more of a challenging life than she needs to have. She has the opportunity to break away, and she chooses not to. That's how toxic she is. She's so conditioned to toxicity that she can't escape from it. But in the beginning of the series, Simone says that her sister is like a mess, and she comes around and messes up all her what she has going on. That's why she chose not to disclose anything about her personal life while working for Kiki and her husband. Well, she's Kiki's assistant. Kiki's husband, played by Kevin Bacon. Gotta love him. His character is so interesting. He just has this whole cool, he doesn't give off like an asshole, arrogant type of wealthy guy. Like, he has this sensitive side of him that only Simone was able to tap into. But it's this kind of allure that she was able to get by being around Kiki so much that I think that she picked up on some of that siren energy. So when he is trying to go off the grid and do his own thing, Kiki wants Simone to follow him. She gets caught following him. And so he's like, well, come on. Like, he wants her to help catch some clams. I forget what they call it, hog hopping or something like that. But they're catching clams, and he's like, did my wife put you up to this? And she's like, what? Anyways, they are very good at kind of reading people, and they could see clear through bullshit. So it's always best for them to just kind of just be upfront. So anyway, he happens to just like kind of stare into her eyes for a second, and in my mind I was like, he's not gonna try to kiss her, but he did. And I was like, oh shit, he kissed his wife's assistant. Oh my god. And they're like this, they're running buddies. She fucking gave her gum. It was like a bit too close. And then she's having her assistant help her send some sexting text messages to him. I think that was just a little too close for, I think, anybody. You know, that's your personal love life. You don't need to be getting your assistant involved in that, rich or not. Okay. So he's like falling in for the assistant. Oh yeah, see, there's the part where they're getting to know each other a little bit more, and then he's like thinking like, oh, she's kind of cute. But then she's seeing his friend, a much older guy than herself, and it was so hilarious when her sister was like, what are you doing with him? He's like 400 years old, and he's wearing a duck blazer with ducks all over it. She straight clowned his ass. But Simone woke up to this because, yeah, like, this guy was known to ghost women at the end of his summer flings. But this time he fell head over heels for Simone, and he wanted to propose to her, not knowing all her history, and then bringing her father for God knows what. But that was a complete disaster that backfired on him because he didn't truly know her. Ethan came off like a real pompous asshole when He proposed to Simone and she didn't accept it. So he acted like a freaking brat. He did not seem to understand why she said no. First of all, dude, you brought her father who let her starve, left her at home by herself, didn't care if she made it to school or not, chose alcohol over raising her, got her stuck into the foster system and be abused through foster parents. So, yeah, no, she doesn't want to marry you because you brought this dude to ask for his permission. She don't need his permission. She doesn't need that grown ass woman don't need his permission. Okay? So, I just love the fact that she was like, "You didn't hear me. I asked you not to ask me these deep questions I don't want to talk about. I don't want to go there." And instead of listening, he's like, "Oh, let me do this stand up guy thing to do and ask her father's hand in his daughter's marriage." The old fashioned way don't work no more these days. Okay? If a woman tells you she don't fuck with her dad, she don't fuck with her dad. And you just need to let it be. Okay? Give it time. She'll open up. But yeah, so let's keep this moving. Miss Kiki don't trust nobody. She hired this photographer, but the photographer is really like scoping out the scene. He is spying on people, and that's one thing I did know that I can see was going to happen. First off, he was sitting waiting in a dark room. He had been waiting in the room for hours for her to check out these photos he had from the gala shoot. It wasn't from the gala, it was from um, those two catching clams, Simone and her husband, when the moment when he leaned in and kissed her. So obviously, different events arose where she is now finding out the information about her assistant, which makes it hard for her to trust the assistant because just sister that she didn't know about, a strange sister shows up, and she's like, "How come I didn't know you had a sister?" Then she's like, "How come I didn't know that your mother did your mother really die in a car accident?" No, she didn't. The mother had tried to unalive her, Simone, and herself in the car. And then she opens up and tells her that she's obviously emotional. She's crying about it because she's reliving that situation. But when it comes to her man, she ain't playing around with her man. So she's like, "I want this bitch gone." Cleaning out her room, the way she did it was so doggone cold. It was like she asked everybody to basically participate because this was going to be a moment of humiliation. She wanted her to walk that walk of shame out of their home, out of their compound, and she thought that was going to be the last of her. Well, little did she know that she had some siren energy too, and she sees her man on the beach after she had got fired. And after she thought about it, first she was like, "Oh, don't do this. This is, like I would never do anything to hurt you. I try to do everything not to devastate you and blah, blah, blah." But Simone knew that this woman had her agenda. She was going to use whatever proof she could because they had some type of prenup agreement that if he cheated, then she would be protected. Our good man Jose, I don't have a picture of him up here, but he's another character. Jose, he works for her husband, and she tried to fire him, and he was like, "You can't fire me. I don't work for you. I work for him." Why can't I think of Kevin Bacon's character's name right now? But anyway, he was like, "I work for him. I don't work for you." And I just loved that moment because he was just like, "Oh, yes," he gave it to her because she plays a good, badass siren, and Julianne Moore looks excellent. She is ageless. Like, I think that she looks pretty much the same, like from movies that I used to see her in from back in the day. Like, she's aging really gracefully. So let's give it to her. She looks great. Actually, she looks physically fit and good. So anyway, so Kevin Bacon's character is like, you know what? Why'd you fire Simone? Why are you firing her? You guys were so close. And he's trying to like reason with her. And he told her, like, look, it was a mistake. And he was owning up to it. She was not having that. She's like, no. She got too close to my man, and I ain't having that. He's like, well, bitch, you can go. I'm about to move her up in here because who's really the boss? He had to show her who's boss. And Jose, the man of reason, he really tried to level with him too. He was like, sir, do you really think you really want to do this again? Because he was married before and his wife and he had children, but this siren somehow got away and magically it was like, he didn't want his wife. He went on to be with her, but she couldn't have kids. I think that was a big missing part of their marriage. And obviously it's talked about. She wanted to, and I believe he wanted to, but it wasn't in the cards for them. So, but the kids, his children, did not like her. They despised her because they blamed her for the reason why their dad had an affair and or ended the marriage with their mother for this siren. And but she was the reason that he and his children didn't have a relationship for 10 years. And then he was becoming a grandfather and he wanted to be there for his grandson's christening. So he had to lie and sneak and say he went to Japan, and he didn't go to Japan. He was going to be with his family and see his kids after a decade of not seeing them. And he got really emotional and he was sharing that to Simone. He was like, man, it like sucks that I missed 10 years of their life that I can't get back. And like you get that. So at the end, you kind of don't feel bad for her because, the way she got him was how she lost him. And you never try to come between anyone and their kids, let alone their grandchildren too, on top of that. So it's like, you gotta go. Sorry, Kiki. Nobody loves you over here. Not anymore. So what do you guys think? Did you enjoy Sirens? Are you expecting to see a season 2? Are you hoping for that? I am. Drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it.